Now returning to our top story, the New South Wales Government's decision to audit all school prayer groups. We're joined in the studio now by Mohammed El-leissy from the Interaction Multi-Faith Network. Mo, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Obviously, the focus has been on this one particular high school in New South Wales, but the Premier has obviously decided that it's enough of an issue or a concern that he wants to do a wider review of all schools in the state.
Look, that's fair enough. I don't know how many schools have the prayer groups as well. It usually tends to take place in schools, well, either with high Muslim populations, or it may be a smaller population, but people that feel more devout.
Or more active, or...
That's right. And I think the challenge is, of course, Muslims have their holy day on Friday, so people, it's a lunchtime prayer. So sometimes they feel that they need to bring in people to conduct those prayers. But of course it leaves it open to quality control.
Yeah, speaking of quality control, what do you see as the, and we're not just talking New South Wales schools here, it could be a broader national issue, the potential for these prayer groups to be used and abused by some people?
Look, it's quite concerning for two reasons. Obviously, the age of young people that are now joining IS is dropping, and we are seeing it going into that 15, 16-year-old range. And, you know, it is the empty minds that are able to sort of be swayed into this ideology. The problem is that we already have a special religious instruction in schools. We know in Victoria we have Access Ministries running Christian one, we have Arkan Talida running the Islamic one, and those groups are regulated, though, not regulated, but they are bodies. They're proper professional bodies that they're able to, you know, give people training so that they're not going in preaching, you know, ridiculous things. The problem with the prayer groups is they're just a prayer group. So people come together, they pray, they bow, but then somebody says something, you know, somebody then afterwards preaches something that's hateful. That's obviously, that needs to be checked. And I can't see why you can't merge the two together so that the special religious instruction is then connected with the prayer groups. So the same people are running them. They're, you know, they're trained in counselling. They're trained in obviously not being, you know, radical.
Yeah. So is there scope for that, do you see?
I think it's very important. What people are forgetting here, most importantly, 95% of the people joining Islamic State are not from the Islamic school system. They're actually from the public school system. So there's actually a big concern about just generally, even without any religious instruction. I think it's important, though, for kids in that environment to be given proper religious instruction. I mean, religion's not going anywhere, but the answer is not no religion. It's actually proper and healthy and good religious education.
And why hasn't that happened up until now, do you think?
I think there's, obviously, it's quite a controversial issue. I think we're trying to push people. There's a lot of public angst about religion being taught in schools to people of religion, and, you know, that separation, obviously. But I think as we're seeing kids going into slightly more dangerous forms of that, it's probably time for us to work.
Formalise it.
I think so, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, Mo, thanks very much for joining us.
No worries.